The allure of wealth, the obsession with status, and the chilling darkness that hides behind a polished facade. This is the story of the Rolex Killer, one of the most perplexing and gripping true crime cases in recent history. Spanning multiple cities and claiming several lives, the case captivated the public as investigators raced to catch a murderer whose signature was as distinct as his motive: luxury Rolex watches. This is a tale of a twisted obsession that turned deadly, and a reminder that sometimes the things we treasure most can become our greatest vulnerability. The first murder, a quiet intrusion in New York City. It all began in early 2003 when 52-year-old Richard Langston, a high-profile real estate mogul, was found dead in his luxurious Manhattan penthouse. Langston was known for his opulent lifestyle and his collection of rare timepieces, particularly his prized Rolex Submariner. Police were called to his apartment after his assistant couldn't reach him for over 24 hours. What they found was a scene that perplexed even the most seasoned investigators. Langston lay lifeless in his living room, the victim of a single stab wound to the chest. There were no signs of a break-in, no signs of a struggle. His wallet, credit cards, and expensive jewelry were untouched. But one thing was missing: his Rolex. At first, the theft of the watch seemed like a small detail in an otherwise straightforward crime. But it wouldn't be long before this pattern emerged again and again. Over the next 2 years, 3 more victims fell prey to the same mysterious killer, all wealthy individuals with high-profile careers and an affinity for Rolex watches. Ann Chambers, 47, a Miami socialite, was discovered strangled in her oceanfront mansion. Her Cartier bracelets, diamonds, and cash were left untouched, but her $15,000 Rolex Daytona had vanished. Mark Everett, 60, a prominent financier in Chicago, was stabbed late at night in his high-rise office. His Rolex Yachtmaster, worth $20,000, was gone, even as his wallet sat untouched on his desk. Lauren Hayes, a 32-year-old tech entrepreneur in Los Angeles, was found dead in her gated home. Like the others, her valuables were intact, except for her gold Rolex Datejust. Each crime scene bore the same chilling signature: minimal evidence, no signs of forced entry, and a missing Rolex. The media quickly caught on, branding the mysterious perpetrator the Rolex Killer. The investigation piecing together the puzzle. The FBI stepped in as the killings spanned multiple states, forming a task force dedicated to catching the Rolex Killer. Investigators worked tirelessly to find a connection between the victims. Forensic experts scoured the crime scenes, but the killer's methods were meticulous. No fingerprints, no DNA, and no clear surveillance footage. He or she seemed to operate with precision, knowing exactly how to enter and exit without detection. Profilers suggested that the killer had a deep obsession with Rolex watches, potentially using them as trophies or symbols of power. It was also theorized that the murderer might have insider knowledge of the victims' lives, possibly gained through high-end social circles, private events, or even luxury sales. The breakthrough finally came in an unexpected way: a pawn shop in Las Vegas. The pawn shop connection: a Rolex resurfaces. In early 2005, a pawn shop owner in Las Vegas grew suspicious when a man attempted to sell a gold Rolex. The serial number revealed it was the same watch stolen from Lauren Hayes, the Los Angeles victim. The pawn shop owner alerted police, leading to the arrest of 38-year-old Eric Monroe. Monroe was an unassuming figure, a former watch repairman with no criminal record. But a deeper investigation revealed the truth about his dark double life. The double life of Eric Monroe. By day, Monroe worked as a freelance appraiser for high-end watches. He attended luxury expos and mingled with wealthy clients, earning their trust through his charm and expertise. But by night, Monroe transformed into the Rolex Killer. Monroe used his insider access to identify potential targets, studying their habits and learning which watches they owned. He tracked them through social events, social media, and even private auctions. The murders, it turned out, were not random acts of violence but carefully calculated crimes. Monroe's obsession with Rolex watches wasn't about money. He never sold most of the stolen watches. Instead, investigators found them in a hidden compartment in his home, displayed like trophies from a twisted collection. The trial of the Rolex Killer. Eric Monroe's trial was one of the most sensational court cases of the decade. The public was captivated by the stark contrast between his outward persona and his secret life as a killer. Prosecutors painted a picture of a man driven by greed, envy, and a deep-seated obsession with wealth and status. Monroe's defense team argued that he suffered from a mental illness, claiming his crimes stemmed from a pathological fixation on Rolex watches. The The jury deliberated for less than a day before finding Monroe guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole, ensuring that he would never pose a threat again. The legacy of the Rolex Killer. Though the murders stopped, the case left a lasting mark on high society and the luxury watch industry. Wealthy individuals became more cautious about flaunting their possessions, and Rolex emphasized the importance of tracking serial numbers for stolen watches. Monroe's story is a chilling reminder of how obsession and envy can drive a person to commit unimaginable acts. The Rolex Killer's legacy lives on, not just in the victims he left behind, but in the haunting questions he raised about the dark side of human nature. What do you think drove Eric Monroe to become the Rolex Killer? Was it greed, envy, or something even darker? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by true crime and unsolved mysteries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Turn on notifications so you never miss another chilling tale.